Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Donkcast. It's going to be a short one this week because there's been absolutely nothing happening in the world of Pokemon, but I'm joined with Jacob and Ian. How are you doing, guys?
Hey man, how's it going?
Hey guys.
It's been a busy one for yours truly. I have done absolutely nothing to do with Pokemon once again. I did play in TCG. What's it called? Poke Beach. I played in the tournament again this month. I'm currently sitting at 4-1-1. Managed to get another win. If I win one more, I've got a spot in the top 8 that I might need to contest for. They've changed the way it's working. I am hoping that that's me in the top 8 if I win another one, but I might have to kind of compete for my top 8 spot. But win, lose or draw, this will be the last time I'm doing the Poke Beach tournament. I was telling the guys just before we came on there, they've changed the way the prizing works. So instead of getting 2 boxes, you're getting 45 packs worth of store credit, which seems to add up. And then they're also putting a cost onto shipping. So international players have basically been told, don't take part. I actually put up a thing on the forums just saying, like, international members need not apply, like, because what is going on, and try to get like some sort of semblance as to what was actually happening. And I was met by a response that basically just says we may need to readjust the wording. Basically, for non-US players, there's much more cost to ship. So we're basically telling you you're going to have to pay that, and the cost of shipping probably won't add up to the actual prizes you'll be receiving. I mean, that seems a little bit harsh.
That's pretty bang out of order, man, given that you're paying the subscription
I'm a
every
paying
month
subscriber,
to
do
them.
you know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah,
and,
you know,
and for
like,
those who don't know, it works out for me at around about £11 to £12 a month.
like I could
for.
kind of get, like, know how they open it up to non-subscribing members
Yeah,
to
of
play.
course,
I
yeah.
could get if they were maybe charging those people
Yeah,
to pay shipping or whatever, but you're giving them tons of money already.
The thing with the non-subscribing members, so if you win the tournament as a non-subscribing member, you're going to get 13 packs worth of points. So between 4 and 13 is all you can win for that. So technically, like, if you had to pay shipping on that, like, you'd be paying £20-ish, I would imagine, shipping to get like 12 boosters. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of not adding up there. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I think for me, it's a little bit frustrating. I get why they have to do it. Like, they've got people to pay, blah, blah, blah. But they've very much said that this is an American thing only. And, like, if you're international, probably don't bother. So, never mind. I am going to look and see if there's any other subscription sites that do a monthly tournament. As far as I'm aware, there isn't, which is a shame because I really do like the Poke Beach tournament. Maybe I'll take part as a non-subscriber and see how I feel about it. But either way, I'm just a little bit. I don't want to say salty because I'm not exactly angry. I'm just a kind of gutted that it's changed because I really did enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's fair.
No, I think you're totally fair, man. I think it does suck that it's been that way for a while now, and
Yeah.
they're lowering the prices and they're making you pay shipping when you're already paying them. It's just, I as you say that, I understand why they're doing it, and as you say, they've got bills to pay and all other kind of stuff. But it just feels, a wee bit of, loyalty, I suppose, to paying members would be nice,
Would have
even
been
if they're
nicer.
international.
Yeah. I agree, man. I agree. I do want to give a quick note and a quick shout out to the guy I played in my last round. It was a guy, his username's JSwoop22, and I played him an hour later than I was meant to, because when I did the time conversions, I got it wrong and thought I was playing him at 8 o'clock, but I was actually playing him at 7 o'clock. So I was an hour late, which he could have taken as a complete win for a start. But also, when I realised I was about half an hour late, I went to sign in on my tablet, and my game has locked me out completely on my tablet. Can't play it. Not tried it since, but I was like, what? I thought my account had been hacked. I was panicking, man. I was panicking. So I jump onto my computer. My computer takes an age to load up for some unknown reason, just because I really wanted it to turn on. Managed to get it working on that. There was an update. I had to do the update. So by the time I actually got on, I was about an hour late, and the guy was just like, "Do you know what? It's fine. Let's just play out the rounds and see how it goes." I won the first, he won the second, both very close games, and then the third game came down to, can you draw? Was it he needed to draw one card? I felt as if it was Metal Energy, but now that I think about it, I think he had Metal Energy on. It was a Ultra Necrozma Mirror, and he needed to. I feel as if he had the Sky Scorching Light that turn, and then I had to whiff, and I wasn't about to whiff, so I managed to win that. I think if he had Sky Scorching Light, then I would have lost the next turn, but he whiffed the Sky Scorching Light, and then I was able to knock him out with my own Sky Scorching Light and win the game. So it was very, very close. It was like down to the very, very last turn of the game, and he played very well. And best of luck to him in future rounds. I'm guessing. Well, I know he's from America, so I'm sure he'll still be playing. So yeah, here's hoping he does well, because as I say, he was a really, really nice guy, and he definitely deserved it. But yeah,
that's the kind of person you want in the community, isn't it? Like
definitely.
Like, because there's far too many people out there who are just you
would have taken it.
5 minutes late, and you're like, no, sorry. But
you can be 15 minutes late. If you're 15 minutes late or over, if you're 15 minutes late, then you get a round one loss. So you have to win out, which is fine. And then if you're up to an hour late, I think it is, then you instantly lose, which is very fair, I think, because at the end of the day, you've picked the time, and I messed up, not him. Do you know what I mean? So he definitely had credence to just take the win, and if he did, I would have been a little bit salty, but at the same time, I was more concerned that I thought my account had been hacked. Just the way I couldn't get into it, and I was stressing. And then I'm checking back my emails. My message says to me, "So, have you got an email to say they've changed your password?" And I was like, "Oh, check." And I hadn't, because I had just changed my own password, and I didn't have anything. Oh my god, I was stressing that. What were you guys? What have you guys been up to?
Nothing
on the spot.
Nothing
on
too
the
much,
spot.
to be honest. Well, it's true. Working, rewatching Game of Thrones. That's been about it.
Started as well.
What episode are you on?
We're still in season 1. We're like episode 6 or something like that. We've got a lot to go.
We just finished episode 7.
Right. Okay.
And I've forgotten so much of the stuff that's happened.
It's
like
crazy, man.
And like characters appearing that you didn't know were there. Like, I think it was episode 6 where he went, "Oh yeah, Beric Dondarrion, go and do this," and I was like, "What? Beric Dondarrion was in season 1? Where's the eye patch? What's going on?" But apart from that, nothing much, man. Jacob?
To be honest, I've been a bit of a hermit this week. Like I've been work, sleep, eat, repeat, essentially.
Oh man,
been a bit of a rough one, but we're up, onwards and upwards, as they say. Been watching. Have you seen that Dirty John on Netflix?
No.
Oh,
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
You need to watch it. I may have binge watched it the other night while loads of chocolate and feeling sorry for myself. But yeah, but apart from that, absolutely nothing.
Right. There was a funny story. I told these guys beforehand I would tell you guys, but I wanted to keep it for the pod. I've started playing Duel Links on my mobile at the weekend. Just sheer boredom, wanted something a bit new to do. I have played Yu-Gi-Oh in the past, like when I was a lot younger. And I keep hearing about this game, Duel Links, and it's basically Yu-Gi-Oh but simplified. And I was like, having fun with it and stuff, dead easy. And then after you finish like the first like hour of the game, it goes, "Oh, by the way, you have to download like this huge download." And I was like, "Oh shit, that's like most of the game." I've not got any of the game. I've only got like the first little bit. So I download the whole thing, and then you're thrown in at the deep end. All the packs are available to you, and I'm like, dude, I have no idea what I'm doing, right? So I go into I googled, what was it, best decks for new players or something daft like that, right? So I was like, fine. Found this site, and it was talking words I didn't understand, and it basically said something along the lines of, "Play this deck, it's really good." And I was like, okay. So it was like, basically, this deck's called Kokai Meru, and basically the idea is it's really, really fast, really, really powerful. You can win early on in the game, so you have nice quick games all the time. looked pretty fun. I was like, okay, that sounds like my kind of play style, nice, tanky, aggressive archetype. I compared it to something like a Rayquaza deck, okay?
Okay.
And I was like, okay, this is fine. This is fine. So the way Yu-Gi-Oh works, it's not like Pokemon where you get a GX card and then that has a secret rare and an ultra rare and all this sort of stuff. Basically, the ultra rare cards are the best cards. The secret rare cards below that are the S rare. I think it's secret. It could be special rare. I don't know. But there's S rare, and they're pretty. They're usually like the best cards that kind of support the best cards. Fine. And then there's rares, and I'm chasing this set of rares for this deck, and I need some super rares as well. So there was no ultra rares. It wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't. So I keep putting all my coins into this one set over and over and over again. Just keep doing it, and eventually, I've got a play set of the secret rares. I've got a play set of the rares, and all I need to do is go over a different set and get a couple of trap cards, a couple of spell cards, and then I'm done. I'm like, cool. So what I didn't realize, Kokai Meru is busted good. So good, in fact, that it had to be nerfed. So I've put like each pack is 3 cards, and it costs like 50 coins. Now I've not put any real money into this. It's all been just from playing, all just play reward, whatever. I've not put any real life money into it whatsoever, and I have bought around about 150 packs of this one set to get these freaking cards, and they nerfed it. So basically now the rare card, which was the whole point was to get this rare card onto the field earlier in the game, you're only allowed 1 in the deck. And it was the last card I was digging for. I was digging for it for around about 40 packs at the end. I just kept buying them. So, turns out the best deck for new players was actually the best deck in format. They didn't get rid of Rayquaza, essentially, but they took away 2 of his Vikavolts. So you're only allowed to play 1 of them now. And also, they took away a different card that you're now only allowed 2 of. It's just kind of the engine of the card. It would be like in a Rayquaza deck saying, oh, by the way, your Vikavolts, you're only allowed to play 2 Vikavolts, and it also gives a rare candy. You're not allowed to play a rare candy either, so you're only allowed 3 rare candy. And I was like, right, okay, that seems rough. And yeah, so now I'm at a real strange position where do I just continue buying the deck, changing a couple of cards on it and seeing if it works, which I think from what I've understood it might, but it's not going to be busted, or do I just scrap it completely and go somewhere else? I don't know, but Duel Links is frustrating, I'll tell you that.
Well, you've invested that much time and effort in there. I think you have to see it through at this point.
Yeah. But I was just like, I couldn't believe it. See, because it was like, oh, we've updated the forbidden ban list, and I was like, okay, and I clicked it, and I was like, no. Why is there a 1?
See, you don't.
Sorry, in Duel Links you're only allowed 3 of 1 card because you're only playing with 20 to 30 card decks.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really simplified version of Yu-Gi-Oh! From what I can understand. They don't have like a lot of the newer cards as far as I'm aware. They're like kind of building up to it. So when it first came out, it was literally like old school Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's what I was playing like during the little trial bit. I was like, oh, this is so cool. I remember half these cards. And then like, I don't know what's going on now. I literally just play my turn and then just see what happens. Let my opponent just do things, which I think 90% of the time they're just cheating. And then it comes back to my turn. And I'm just like, right, what have I got left? Like, because I don't know how, I've literally no idea. It'll come up, chain, synchro, freaking fusion, massive explosion happens, there's a cutscene, suddenly all my stuff's dead, and I'm like, I have another fish. I made a fish deck, guys. Fish. Not water, not aqua. Fish. Literal fish. I've got a fish that brings out a bigger fish same turn. It's amazing.
It's wishy-washy.
I've got a fish that brings out a different fish. She's a princess. And then That princess fish finds a different fish is amazing. Honestly, it's a lot of fun. I would definitely recommend it to you guys. I know you aren't into Yu-Gi-Oh at all, but like for the fun of it, it is actually really good. And I've not had to put a single penny into it. I've had a great weekend playing it, and I still can't put it down. I literally, once we're finished here, I'm going to go sit on the couch, make a cup of tea, and I'm playing that again. My fish deck will reign supreme.
I mean, there is something to be said for like playing other card games. And by the way, Gary just loved that, man. Just that whole Yu-Gi-Oh talk there. If he's listening to this, he's just gone nuts right now with all the Yu-Gi-Oh chat. But like, there is something to be said for other card games in terms of like helping overall skill with Pokemon. Like,
I would definitely agree with that. Yeah,
I played Magic for a good probably 8 years, and then took a big break from card games and came back to Pokemon recently. And I think my background having played Magic has helped me with Pokemon. And I play like Star Realms, the kind of the deck building game, quite a lot on the app on my phone as well. And I haven't put any money in that or anything like that, but it's good to kind of see the mechanics of other games and think about the strategy. And I know, Jacob, you're into Star Realms and stuff like that as well.
Oh yeah, I love a good deck builder.
Yeah. So like all that kind of stuff, it's good to experiment with other things because you maybe learn strategies and learn ideas that you wouldn't necessarily have seen just playing Pokemon.
It's quite funny. Like I've tried to find a couple of YouTubers or something like that, something along the lines of like, you know, a Wassy or a even just like a regular like streamer or something like that. And I found this one guy. I think he's kind of like the kind of only massive like Duel Links player. His channel's called Duel Links Meta, and I literally don't know what he's talking about. He says words that have no meaning to me, and I keep watching these videos hoping and praying at one point I will understand roughly what he's talking about, and I literally don't know. He'll say things like, oh, and if you do this, it will special summon this, and then this will happen, and then that will happen, and you can actually do this to do this, and this, and this. And I'm like, come again, because I don't. And then, like, he literally, like, he'll show a couple of stream highlights and stuff like that, and I'm just like, I don't know what's happening. Even decks that I've played or seen or vaguely understand, I don't know 90% of what's actually happening. It's really confusing.
So
it's not as easy as Pokemon.
See,
Pokemon has like Pokemon, and then you do a thing, and then it does a thing, and then that's it.
When you're saying it's like OG type stuff. So are we talking like back in the day, like series 1 of the TV show, when you had cards like Dark Magician and Pot of Greed and Karibo and all that stuff?
But from what I understand, right, Blue Eyes, White Dragon, right? The kind of iconic thing. We'll go with this one because Gary likes it and stuff as well, right? So back in the day, Blue Eyes, White Dragon, from what I understand, was a pretty straightforward deck. You got Blue Eyes out, and then you attacked, and then it was game, right? Done. Now it's different. Blue Eyes, White Dragon comes out on like turn 1 somehow, and then it digivolves into Blue Eyes Ultimate Mega Dragon, which has Shining Light ability that does stupid amounts of damage to this guy, that guy, and the next. You discard 7 spell cards from your deck, and then this thing happens, and then suddenly it's fused with something else, and then I don't know how that happened, but then there's a trap hole, and then it all goes away anyway, so it doesn't ever matter. This
is all Duel Links. This is all like 30 card decks.
Yes.
So a standard Yu-Gi-Oh deck, I'm assuming 60.
I think so.
So it's twice as complicated to play the full version. That's what you're saying.
I have no idea. It must be. It literally must. So bear in mind you get a side deck as well.
Oh yeah, you get a sideboard Magic, yeah.
Sorry. You get a side deck, and you also get an extra deck. They're different.
So it's not like you can swap out cards between rounds. Like you can play with what's in the side deck.
I think you can with the side deck. You can swap out cards. Right. I've not played in an actual tournament or anything like that, so I've never used a side deck. But from what I understand, there is a side deck. But you also have an extra deck, and that holds your fusions and your synchro monsters. Look at me, and then your something else monsters. I would imagine probably like fact check, probably right. Yeah, it's unbelievably complicated. There's so much going on. It's hilariously fun. Like I literally most of the time I'm just playing against the computer because like that's more or less what you do at this kind of level that I'm at. But like a couple of tasks have like said to me, "Oh, you need to go and do a ranked match," and I'm like, "Okay," and I'll go and do a ranked match, and I literally do not know what's happening. I am just there to spectate my own deck. It's unbelievably strange. It's not like anything I've ever played before, and it's also really hard when you read a card, right? When you read a card in Pokemon and you see, for example, I don't know, something like Shuckle, right? The baby Shuckle discards energy. You're like, oh, okay, that's kind of useful. I could see that going into different decks, right? That kind of makes sense. But then you get something like, I don't know, say a Lapras that calls for family. You're like, do you know what? I could maybe use that as an interesting. I probably won't use that. Let's be honest. So like, you can kind of gather what's decent, what's not. You've got clear lines of what evolve, like because things evolve into other things. So like, if you want to play a Machamp, you need the Machokes and the Machops, usually. With Yu-Gi-Oh, it's really, really different. A card that is good in one deck can be good in several decks, but like to make it broken, you need the one card from a different set that's really, really good. But then nobody plays that card because there's a different card that does a similar thing from a different set, and like I don't know how people know what to play. I'm so confused. Like I'm opening the packs and I'm just on spectator mode, man. I don't. You can read them. You can. I don't understand 90% of the text. It's bonkers, man. Utterly bonkers.
I'll maybe give it a go and see if I am as clueless as you are, which I imagine I'll be more clueless.
The little like kind of training mission sort of thing, like when you first turn it on, is pretty fine. Do you know what I mean? You'll understand that no problem at all. You only get one set of cards to buy from. It's like Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon set, and you can get Blue Eyes in it and all that sort of stuff. I think I only got to open like 2 or 3 packs, and then by the time I had done that, it was like, oh, by the way, there's a full game to download. You should do that. And when I downloaded it, I was just like, what? Like, this is that okay, what is happening right now? But you're constantly rewarded, you're constantly given enough kind of gems to open free packs, and like I don't think there's trading, which is kind of bad. But I'm guessing that's probably so that the cards don't just become like real money. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, of course.
Because you see that a little bit with Pokemon, but like not all that much. Yeah.
Am I right in saying that this Duel Links thing is also in real card form?
I've no idea.
I'm pretty sure that they released like Duel Links, essentially battle decks like we would have in Pokemon.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think they did. I'm sure I saw Gary playing with them one night.
Either that, or it's an alternative format. See, like that 152 or whatever format. I can't remember the name of it.
It's possible there is like a different format. I'm sure Gary's actually said to us at one point that like they had made some Duel Links decks for fun. What I was wondering is, would it be possible to do a Pokemon version of that, like playing with like 20 to 30 card decks?
If you were to do that, you would have very thin Pokemon lines, obviously.
Yeah.
And then...
But there's less cards you need to find it from.
Yeah.
But we're also already doing that technically with pre-release.
Well, that's a 40 card deck and it's a limited format. Yeah, that's true. I was just wondering, like, what would rise to the top if you could do, like, literally, like, 20 card Pokemon decks with all the energy, with everything. You would take either 2 or 3 prizes and then just, like, see what happens. Like, I'd be really interested in that.
That sounds fun, but it would surely be something like Buzzwole GX that's fast. You know, that can get going in like turn 1 and start knocking stuff out. It wouldn't be like set up stage 2 decks you'd be playing in that kind of thing. It'd be all big basics, you would assume.
God, I hate my computer. I don't know why it's cutting out.
So is it safe to say that we're not losing you to Yu-Gi-Oh then?
Unless they do some sort of master's degree that I can speed through in like a year, Probably not.
But would you even want to do that though? You wouldn't want to give up Pokemon.
I would never give up Pokemon, please. Like, obviously joking, but yeah, it's really confusing. I'll leave it at that. Let's talk about some Pokemon news. There's a card.
Yeah.
Big Oven from GG End, and it's trainer card. Once during each player's turn, that player may discard a card from their hand. If they do, that player searches for 2 fire energy cards from the deck, reveals them, and put them into their hand. Then shuffle your deck. That is really nice.
Fire is getting hella support in the next set, man. This
it really is.
And Welder.
Yeah, we
and
talked about Welder.
Fire Crystal.
It's
like,
crazy.
It's how do you even play Blacephalon anymore? Where are my Ultra Spaces going?
Yeah,
I don't have room for them.
It's crazy, man. It's really, really crazy. Like, Fire becomes a really powerful archetype in the next set, I think. Similar to the way that, like, Electric got buffed when the new set came out.
Yep.
In fact, the last couple of sets have really buffed Electric to the point of, like, even like Zera Aura and the sets prior and Electro Power and stuff like that. Really doing that kind of slow build, and then like boom, 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 Pikachu, Zekrom, Zapdos. Suddenly, this thing is unbelievable, and I really think Fire's going down a similar line.
From a kind of competitive standpoint, it's probably a good thing to bring a wee bit of balance because Metal has got so much support, and with like
Metal has a lot of
like
support.
Lucario, Metal GX coming out in that insane GX set that reduces damage, plus we're getting the Diglett, plus we've got Metal Frying Pan, plus we've got the other tool that's coming out.
Yeah.
This kind of speed fire stuff might balance that to kind of stop these insane stall decks that are looking like they could be a thing.
Oh, Kiawe, respond.
Yeah. I mean, like with stuff like Charizard Reshiram GX, which I still don't think is a particularly good card, but it becomes a lot more viable. Ho might come back slightly. Regular Reshiram GX, which I always liked, but I've never thought was quite good enough.
Honestly,
that could
man,
make an appearance.
Anything that has weakness on Pheromosa Buzzwole is probably for the best of the format.
The new Arcanine, which is nuts good.
Is this the one from the Detective Pikachu set?
No, it's the one from... I don't know whether it's coming in our next set or whether it's the set after it in Japan, but it's the one that does 120 damage and you discard 2 fire energy.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one.
I mean, that for like a non-GX attacker with all this fire support, that's really good. It's like I will definitely be trying that Arcanine. I think it looks like an Arcanine's a cool Pokemon anyway, so...
Yeah, man. And as we desperately refresh Pokebeach's website, that is pretty much it for the news.
Well, there's one other piece about Toronto.
One other piece. Go on in. Go ahead.
about Toronto.
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, there was a regionals in Toronto and nobody cares because it was expanded.
There you go.
But the one interesting thing that did come out of it, though, was that Jimmy Pendarvis won it. So that's his, 4th regionals win of the year? So it's 2 in standard, 2 in expanded?
The thing that Pokemon don't seem to realise is they really need to nerf Jimmy Pendarvis.
Yeah, that's it.
It's getting a little bit ridiculous because what else is he supposed to do? The guy's played like pretty much a different deck every time he's won one of these. And this time was no different. He rocks up with Night March and wins the whole thing. Night March, not Lost March like everybody else is playing. No, this guy's extra. He plays Night March. What is happening? What is happening?
Well, I mean, he's playing obviously Lampent is the attacker there, as one of the attackers, that can use it, right? So most Lost March decks back in the day were playing like 3 or 4 Dimension Valley. He's playing 1. The Pumpkaboo is 3 energy to attack. He's playing 4 DCE.
How's he attacking a Lampent?
Because he's playing... Sorry, I meant Pumpkaboo. Sorry, was the attack.
Right. I was like, what?
Sorry. They're playing Dimension Valley to use Pumpkaboo's attack.
Yes.
But he's only playing... I'm getting my Pokemon mixed up. But he's only playing 1 Dimension Valley, so that becomes really difficult to attack with. So he's relying on Joltik as the main attacker,
Yeah.
but he's got one Marshadow GX, so the Joltiks need to be in the discard pile
Yeah.
for Marshadow to use the attack, but they're also the
Yes.
attackers.
Yes.
And he somehow pulled this madness off.
Yes.
Like, with one Dimension Valley, like...
Yeah, but he plays Order Pad, so that makes it totally okay.
Yeah, obviously. And
What
Trainer's
is going
Mail.
on, man?
And
What is going
Electro
on?
Power at one special charge. You play 4 DC and one special charge. Like, he also even plays Silent Lab, because it's like, I don't care. I don't need Shaman. I don't need Marshadow. I don't need Lele. I'm just going to play Silent Lab because I'm Jimmy Pendarvis.
He plays both Marshadow and an Oranguru.
Like,
both Marshadow, an Oranguru, a Lele, and 2 Shaman, and he's like, nah, screw it, Silent Lab.
This is why I don't. This is why I hate Expanded, because I just don't understand how this thing works at all. It makes no sense.
This is like me trying to play Duel Links here. This is what's happening.
Jimmy Pendarvis is just on a completely different level from everybody else, man. He's just like, whatever.
He's playing a different game.
He totally is. And even in Standard, he's playing a different game as well, man. Like, he's clearly like, he's got to be, if not the best, one of the top 2 or 3 players in the world right now with all what he's done this year. I mean, like, it's hard to look beyond a guy like Tord Reklev, obviously, but he hasn't had as many accomplishments this year. But he did win 3 internationals in a row, so you know.
Yeah, we can't really take that from him.
And like Robin Schulz is the current world champion, so you can't be kind of too mean on him either.
They need to get Jimmy Pendarvis nerfed, or he's next for world championship fame. He's got to be.
He's got to be the front runner, surely. Like, going into it, he's just smashing it.
Scrolling down the list, we see Zoroark Garb second place with a spicy foul play Zoroark tech from an old black and white set. We've got Trevenant Break doing really, really well. It was Trevenant's tournament, but the looks of things, there's like 4 Trevenant in the top 8. Yeah. Nice. Archie's Blastoise was 6th with Russell Lapierre.
Yeah, we like him.
Counterbox. What is this, man? I've not even looked at this one.
This is
insane. New, isn't it? Basically new, some Pseudo Widow, Shaman. Jeez, oh man, it's like, do you like a counter energy? Because we've got them.
So he's got like, there's White Kyurem, there's Giratina, there's Articuno, not the GX, the old Chilling Psy one.
Jesus.
There's Oricorio, the Sableye. I mean, like, what?
16 Pokemon, and he plays a one of 11 of them.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
That's insane, isn't it?
This Articuno is really, really cool, actually. So it's got the Alpha Plus ability, or Delta Plus, or whatever the hell that is, Plus ability. It'll take an extra prize card whenever you knock something out with it, and it's got Tri-Edge for 20, double water energy, and a colorless. Flip 3 coins does 40 more damage for each heads.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
It's all right, man.
He's playing Pokemon Ranger.
Of course he is.
He's playing Town Map.
Like, of course he is.
Come on. He's playing Computer Search. Here, that's the other thing about Jimmy's winning deck list. It didn't play Computer Search. It played Dowsing Machine.
Okay, yeah, Dowsing Machine.
So he's like, I don't even need to play the card that gets me literally any card out of my deck in a deck where I'm only playing 4 energy. Screw that. I'm going to play the one that gets me a trainer from my discard into my hand.
Well, yeah, he has to reuse his special charge.
Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? It's not like he's playing 4 VS Seeker already.
Dude, Jimmy's even playing Electro Power.
Yeah, he's playing 2 Electro Power.
What is going on, man?
It's like he's winning extra. You know, he's like, I'm not going to play Computer Search. I don't need it. Whatever. I'm going to play Order Pad and just flip heads every time.
It's just wonderful, man. What an absolutely mental tournament. But yeah, that's expanded for you.
But it does tell you something though, looking at the numbers, because there was 358 in that, and at the Collinsville regionals, there was 1,056.
Jesus.
You know, so that there's a huge difference between. Okay,
Yeah.
geographically they're different places, but they're both still in North America, and people will have travelled from Canada to Collinsville, such as Zach Lesage, who won it, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
And you're getting a third of the, well, not quite a third, of the players there who were at Collinsville, man. It's
If we look
crazy.
back to last year, the regionals in Toronto was a standard event, and it brought in 558 players.
Well, their kind of player base is down by 200.
Yeah.
Maybe Toronto's more difficult to get to for people, or I don't know,
but
general, but it's still a lot to lose.
For a North American international tournament, you would think it would do a bit better than that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, saying that though, like regionals in Anaheim was the last expanded tournament that Jimmy Pendarvis also won, and that was 508 players. So it's not even as if there's a massive difference between the actual Americans tournament and the Canadians. It's just expanded isn't as popular.
Yeah.
Portland 517, Roanoke 401, Salt Lake City, Utah 280 players. Do you know what I mean? These are all expanded tournaments. There was an expanded tournament in Germany, a regional. I'm not even going to try and say it, for 211 players. Do you know what I mean? So like, it's not as if there's not a whole lot. Compare that to Sheffield, and there was 505 players at Sheffield that year. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
you're talking. There is a real difference in between expanded and standard. I'm wondering if, like, I mean, I'm pretty. All of us here are pretty much like standard or bust. But like, I'm wondering if there is players out there that are just expanded or busted. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I've not met any.
No, I've never met anyone who is. I've heard people saying that they like expanded and they would go to an expanded League Cup or something like that. I would never go to an expanded League Cup because I would get trashed and wouldn't have a clue where to start.
The only thing that would save expanded for me is if they rotated expanded, so that it was like they rotated it up to like XY sets at least, and then I at least had the majority of the cards that I would want and can actually build a decent deck.
Yeah, I could get on board with that.
I could probably get on board with that at that point, because then that way it's like I've got most of the good cards. I've got the Shamans. I've got the stuff that's good in standard. I've got the Darkrai EXs and all that that were good once upon a time that might still be viable, but to be honest, even then, I think that still just becomes standard with Battle Compressor. So, yeah. I don't know if there's really anything that makes the jump up other than Battle Compressor and Shaman EX. So, it's pretty tricky.
I mean, like, other games have different kind of levels of legality as well. Like Magic the Gatherings get like 4 or 5 of them. And I think that they have a healthier base in the formats that aren't standard. And I don't know what the nature of that is necessarily. Maybe it's to do with the legality and the fact that they have, like what you were talking about in Yu-Gi-Oh, where you ban or you restrict a card, so instead of playing 4 you can only play 1.
Yeah.
So maybe that kind of competitive balance, I suppose, lends itself to it. I'm not really sure where it comes from, but it just seems to be like people who play Pokemon like the new cards. And I guess that's pretty much it.
They like the new shiny stuff.
That's it, yeah. I mean, you don't go wrong with nice new shiny things.
That's exactly it, man. Yeah, it's very interesting. Very interesting. As I say, it would be nice to meet someone that was like, nah, all I play is expanded. I can't stand standard. It's too, I don't know,
restrictive, maybe
restrictive, fast. Like the formats changed very, very quickly in standard, which is something I really like about it. Is the meta does shift from tournament to tournament, whereas you can see in expanded tournaments a lot of the time, like for a while there, it was like Zoroark. Zoroark won several tournaments in a row to the point where people were shouting, "We need to nerf Zoroark. It's absolutely busted, broken. We need this to stop." I'm not sure what Toronto was like, whether the top 8, there was only one Zoroark, but like was from 9 to 30, was it another 30 Zoroarks? You know what I mean? Like how good was it? We don't know, but it would be nice to see. It would be nice to get like a decent take on that, but yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that, but
no, I know what you're saying. Like to have someone who's actually plays expanded and who's a bit more up to date on what goes on in expanded, because it seems to be that the decks almost do like a circuit. where
Yeah,
Trevenant was really good for a while, then it went away. Then
Yes.
Lost March was really good, and that kind of went away, and those are starting to come back.
Yeah, people were shouting they had to ban Dimension Valley at one point. I remember
Yeah,
that. They were
exactly,
like, "Oh, Dimension
yeah.
Valley's too good. We need to ban it." I wonder if the
Definitely.
recent bans have had like a real impact on it, because they banned like Archies, they banned Lucamine and all that sort of stuff. So that's probably got rid of a lot of kind of degenerate stall decks.
Yeah.
Out of Expanded to some extent at least. So it'd be interesting to see how the rest of the tournament looked. But I don't know if we'll get that or if it's still coming. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll need to wait and see. But as you say, like Standard is quite a healthy mix in terms of the format, where there are a lot of kind of good viable decks, and on the one hand that's a good thing because it's healthy to have all the different kind of decks and stuff like that, but on the other hand it drives me crazy because I just want to pick a deck and play it. And I can never settle in one.
Oh, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But yeah. Anywho, I think it's about time we can set off into the sunset. There has been very little Pokemon talk on this podcast. But hopefully next week there'll be a little bit more to talk about. We have a tournament coming up. Where was it again?
I want to say it's Greensboro, but I could well be wrong.
Next weekend there's 3 big tournaments. There's Greensboro, expanded regionals. There's a special event in Chile, standard, and there's a regional in Perth, Australia. All on the same day, so that's exciting, and that is a standard tournament, so we will definitely be talking about that. That will be worth a look. And then the following weekend, there is a regional in Brazil and Argentina as a special event.
Brazil have always got interesting decks, man.
And Mexico also has a special event, so that's Brazil, Argentina, and Mexico. Brazil always have nice decks, but do you know what? I bet you we get some nice decks out of Mexico and Argentina as well.
Yeah.
And then it's April the 6th. It will be Denver. And that, if I remember correctly, is one of the last major events. Yep, it's the last North American regional until Bristol happens. So it'll be the last kind of major event before Bristol.
Are there no European events before Bristol? Like there's
international in Berlin.
When does that take place?
That's end of April.
Anyway, so that's probably going to be
the last major event, for standard.
So see, this is interesting though, because it's an international event. You would assume that there will be more international players because obviously the prize money's higher and the championship points and offer are higher. So maybe we'll see a little bit of the influx of some of the American influence. But I think for us, looking at Bristol as our next big tournament, that these two, the one you were talking about there in Denver, and then this international one is really going to set what we can kind of expect
at Bristol. Yeah, so this is the last hurrah for us going into Bristol. 2 major tournaments to come. There's still a couple of not tiny tournaments by any means, regionals in Perth and in Brazil, but we've got some special events. We've got a little bit still to go before we hit Bristol, but it'll be exciting to see. But anyway,
if we're getting our regionals in Perth, we might get Al's favourite player in the world, Shintaro Ito, heading down to play that. He might be at that one. He might end up at the internationals as well. You never know. I don't know how much Japanese players travel, but he might go down to Perth, have a wee week in Australia, enjoy the sun and all that stuff, and win a tournament playing Meganium, Charizard, Nidoqueen, all the pre-release promos.
There was a Japanese format tournament coming up. I've seen Champions League Kyoto, Japan.
See,
so
they're going to
have that.
They're going to have like green search and all that stuff then.
They'll have crazy stuff, but I'm sure Shintaro will rock over to that one.
Yeah, and Al's mind will be blown again.
Al's mind will be blown again for new and interesting ways to use a Meganium.
Yep.
anyway, we'll leave it for there, and I'll see y'all next time.
Right, bye, man.
Have a good night, guys.
Good night, guys.